Hi, good afternoon. It's Kelly. It's Tuesday, February 10, 2026, and I am going to do a reading for you. I have not shuffled my cards yet, so I am going to shuffle them right now while I speak about a message that I've already been getting since this morning, and that is going to be the topic of the message. So I am thinking about masculine energy right now, and this could be men or women, but I'm specifically thinking about if you were talking about, you could think of sun or moon. So sun would be sort of your action, your moving forward energy, and then the moon being sort of your reactive energy. Okay, but I'm going to put this into sort of sports terms, and so it would be like this person, whether it's a man or a woman, is in the masculine energy of being on the offense. Okay, so that would be like being in your sun sign. So it's like they're on the offense, they feel like they have the ball. Okay, so it's different than being on the defense where they have to be really reactive. So this is, and I keep saying they, so I think it's two. I think it's two maybe working together, for a greater outcome, and these for a greater good as well. So this is two people that know each other well, and they consider themselves complements, but they're different, but they get along well. Okay, and so they might be brothers, because you can see I was led to pick these books at the library today. So they could be brothers, they could be sisters, but this is a bond that these two share. So I'm going to start shuffling my cards, and I hope it's really not too loud for you. I'm going to be honest, because I'll be talking at the same time, but I don't have this room for very long, so we're just going to have to make it work. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about before I forget, because I did not write this down, I was on the bus this morning, all of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. That would definitely happen to me. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what I was thinking of. First, I thought of one person. I was really getting a strong energy of one person, this sort of masculine person. When I say they're on the offense, I'm saying they're trying to formulate a plan of what they're going to do, and at the same time, they're really focused on their energy. So like the law of attraction, they want to have sort of the upper hand, and so whatever comes at them, they want to not only be able to be prepared for whatever they're going to encounter during the day, but they want to be sort of in charge of their day. Okay, and they want to make sure, so they're thinking about the law of attraction, and they want to keep their energy in a flow where not only they're receiving positive things, so they're not really actually thinking about that right now. So who's ever thinking that's not what I'm talking about. They just want to be sort of in charge of their day. Like they want luck to be on their side, and they want to stay in a very positive, even-keeled, let whatever happens to me just kind of bounce off me, so that I don't get into the defense mode, because they're thinking of like, I have the football and I want to get the ball, like I want it to the end. So they know, they're like sort of trying to plan how they're going to handle their emotions, but at the same time how they're going to control their day, because it's like they have a plan, they want to do something, and they're trying to work together. And so one of them or both of them might be similar to me, because I don't even like this memory, but I suppose I'll talk about it. I don't do well under pressure. So this is something that I might do as well, over prepare for my day, so that it's so easy to me, it would be lighthearted. And then I do really well. And so then we can talk about the law of attraction. I would most likely, continue to do well with whatever I was doing if I was in that, some people call it vibration or energy or mood, you know what I mean? And at the same time, I feel comfortable with whatever I'm doing, so I can kind of just like let the rest float off and bounce off me. And I played volleyball in high school, and when there was this time I was in the back and there was a server, and she served it right to me, and I was trying to place it for the setter, and instead of standing, sort of still, in using my body as the stability, my arms swung up and the ball went out of bounds. Okay, and that happened 3 times in a row, and I ended up getting taken out of the game, and it was just a disaster for me. So that's kind of like law of attraction, because each time she served that to me, I got really upset and just really out of my zone, you could call it. So of course it's like it would happen to me again, but she not only chose me again to serve it to because she knew I was already flustered and frazzled. I made the exact same mistake because I was all exactly like she had witnessed. So that's kind of like law of attraction. So if I put myself in a situation and I mess up, all of a sudden I've spiraled. It's like I'm trying to think straight, but the emotion, me on my own defense, is sort of taking over my body. And then that would be like whatever situation you were in. So if you were in a meeting, if you were taking a test, if you were about to have an important encounter, you wouldn't want to get thrown off your kilter if you were someone like that, because then you would realize, like, I don't think my head would be in the game at that point, and I might make the same mistake. So that's kind of what they're thinking, trying to prepare for many possible things that could do that to them. Okay, what else was I thinking about during that time? I don't know. Oh, okay, then I was thinking about the law and rules, okay? I was thinking about how could you break a law if you didn't know the law? So if you weren't informed of the law, how could you possibly break the law? And that was really irritating me. And this is just, it's kind of random. For instance, I live in Michigan and marijuana is legal in Michigan. I didn't know that you couldn't just smoke a joint on the streets. A friend informed me the other day that it's $100 fine if a police officer catches you smoking a joint on the street. Well, I had no freaking idea. I thought it was just like a cigarette. I have never seen a sign posted anywhere that would inform me that it's $100 fine. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if there's a fine because I have not confirmed it. But I do know that I have never seen anything posted anywhere. Okay? And then that led me to thinking about drinking responsibly. In the same thing. So if you go to a restaurant, and like I'm an adult, about sometimes I like to have a beverage at a restaurant, okay, and you need to drink responsibly. So I am informed. I do know enough to know that 1.5 ounces is enough that where you could have a shot of liquor, okay, and you would be okay. Your body would metabolize that in around an hour, 60 minutes, and then you could check in with yourself and you would be okay to drive, okay, responsibly. That's the same exact thing with a 12-ounce lager, a 12-ounce beer. You can drink one of those and your body would metabolize that in 60 minutes. And that's probably if you didn't even really have much food. So that is giving you a cushion, but that would be you drinking responsibly. And that would be the same thing for me having a glass of wine. I know a 5-ounce glass of wine would make sure that gives me 60 minutes to metabolize this glass of wine so I could drink responsibly. Okay, so there is a standard. There's it's like a rule book. It's almost like a law. I mean, it's more than an average. It's like that's what you can feel safe with. Okay, enough for people to really use that as a measure. And then now you can go to the same restaurant and you can get some weird Sam Adams special for 7% alcohol something. And all of a sudden you're not drinking a lager, you're drinking a Voodoo Ranger. And that's going to be really different in when you're able to drive. Just like now they offer me a 6-ounce glass or a 9-ounce glass of wine. I'm like, what the F? You're supposed to offer me a 5-ounce pour. I'm a little bit confused. So it's just something like that. And it's like, I wouldn't even blame the person if they got pulled over and got an OWI or a DUI, because it's like, excuse me, I wasn't even freaking informed what was in my alcohol. Like, I am responsible. How come nobody posted what was in my alcohol so that I could do this appropriately? I would assume that would be the restaurant's fault. So, I mean, you post if something's gluten-free or not. No. I'm just saying, like, so if you're just thinking about something logical, where it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, if you weren't a police officer and you weren't the one, sentencing me to 9 months in fucking jail or something I didn't even do because I didn't understand, I don't understand. So it's like, if you weren't that person and you were just having a conversation with somebody, you'd be like, well, if I didn't know, then I didn't know. Like, that doesn't make any freaking sense. So I don't know. I was feeling really passionate about that then, and I'm so passionate about that now. So I have to take a deep breath for a second. Okay. But seriously, like, come on, let's be real. I mean, we know we have to drive on a certain side of the street. Okay. So, I'm just saying, you really do need to inform someone of a law or a rule, especially if you know how it's going to affect them and then what the consequence would be to that. Otherwise, they have no idea. It's not only backhanded, that's against the law. So come on. Okay. What else? Last night I tried to thought about a bunch of random stuff. But I just ate lunch and I had some pasta salad and there were onions in it. And so I was thinking, this one guy is thinking, like, one of these guys likes the taste of raw onions. And the other guy's like, ew. And then, or, you know, whoever. I'm just going to call them guys or men because it's easier. If it's women, it's fine. Okay, and then someone's like, something about spicy. And that has to do with these teas because I was led to put the teas here. Okay, wait, I'll get to that in a second. Did I forget something important about this person? Oh yeah. Okay, so let me get to that first. Sorry. The law of attraction. So this guy or multiple guys, I'm just thinking about one guy specifically for a second. He is being really silly right now with this, and it's really good. So I don't know if he's in danger. I don't know if he's trying to get to the bottom of something, and he realizes it's difficult to get to the bottom of something. Like, there is a lot that is being hidden, and it's kind of like people are aware of this, but they don't know. And you have to be a certain type of professional, or you have to be a certain type of family, you know, something to have this information. Okay, but he also is a very solid human being. This person does have a lot of contacts. They are professional, so they either have a very large friend group, if they have a lot of coworkers. They might be an entrepreneur where they have several different businesses. This person is a very stable human being, okay? But he's also very silly. So when I was on the bus this morning, I was thinking my spirit guides were really happy because they were like, you know, this one, and now they're thinking these two. Like, maybe, like, if you're seeing this, you've decided, you know, recently today to kind of form, you know, like a pact or a brotherhood or an alliance or something where you're like, let's do this together and put our differences aside kind of feeling. And also, like, our opposites really complement each other and we have the same goal. So that's kind of, you know, now we're molding into we have two people now. But this morning I was kind of thinking, like, whoever this guy is, he's really cracking us up right now. So he is a good, solid, stable human being. And this guy's also smart. Like, he does understand logic, okay? He's a realist, but he likes, you know, fantasy on the side. But he's like, are you kidding? A type of thing. Like, he's a realist. So nobody thinks he's like airy-fairy type of feeling, okay? They know this guy's a serious person. And they also know that he's like a legit, you know, human being. Like, his mental capacity seems really stable, all right? But he's also very silly. And that's why it frustrates me. And if you're listening, it probably frustrates a lot of you too, where it's like, just because you have an idea of the perception of how you want me to behave if I'm silly, or I like a different type of music, or I want to dress differently one day, or I want to go and experience something new, does not mean that I'm not acting like myself and I'm unstable. So, I mean, the person I'm talking about right now doesn't even really view it like there's two guys. Like, one guy is really goofy and eccentric, but he's also a realist. But, like, nobody cares if he acts goofy because they're like, oh, whatever. And they think he's funny. He's obviously, like, pretty popular. He has a lot of friends. But, like, if a woman did that, or another guy did that didn't have a lot of friends, that was, you know, maybe more out of the norm, they would be like, oh my god, that person's so weird. Okay, so a lot of people might get annoyed with these two guys, you know, because they're just like, okay, asshole, like, we obviously just said the same joke, but everybody laughed at you, and I'm fucking weirdo. Like, that is the vibe of maybe outsiders or some of their, like, you know, anybody else, because, like, they can talk about mythical creatures and, like, fairy tales, and, like, they're very smart and joke about it all day. But if somebody was like to try to, they're like, oh, okay, well, it's just, you know, I don't know why you're taking it seriously. It's like, you just read the whole freaking book of the legend from every country from all over, and I can't talk about a story about it that might be real. Like, you're like, okay. So, like, that's the dynamic between, it's like these two are best friends, And then anyone else that is like, well, hey, did you? And they're like, So it's kind of like, you guys are dicks. Like, that's honestly like the feeling of someone else in the background. So that's funny. They are cool and stuff, but that's just like the vibe. Like, how come you get away with it? Because, like I'm saying, these guys are also like businessmen or very studious or just whatever. So they are respected, okay? So one of these guys is super silly, and he's like trying to get to the bottom of something, and he's following the law. Like he's following, like let's imagine. Okay, it's hard for me to get out because it's almost like everything he's doing, he knows he needs to stay on a positive vibration. Okay, so he's like, I'm not letting anyone take down my day because they're weird drama, and he doesn't usually. Like this is so. This would be this guy's natural. It's like almost like he knows how to use a yo-yo really well, or like he was really good at sports, because I was thinking of being on the offense, or thinking about I have the ball, so it's time to score. So it's like they're really in game mode, but this is easy to them. So this is not something that they are stressed out about at all. So he's taking this as like a joke. Okay, so he's like, okay, so this is like a serious guy. Like, let's say we're just gonna call her Nancy. Okay, Nancy Drew, and she's really smart, really cool, whatever. She finds the same information or reads the same books that these guys are doing, okay? And she comes to these guys and she's like, look, this is serious, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, weirdo. That's the vibe I'm getting, okay? And then, like, later they're like, you know what? Let's just try this out and see, because they're not quite taking her seriously, but they're like, if this was real, how can we find out this information, okay? Let's just try this. So they're not stressed out about it. Like if it was her, she'd be like, oh my, because she knows this is serious. She like knows this is real. So she's like shaking. She's like on the verge of tears. It'd be like me. And these other guys, so just together, like, let's just see. So I just got the Ace of Swords upside down. So like it's definitely the truth, but like they're not taking it seriously. But they are gonna do it, okay? And so they also find so she's given them like a task of like, okay, well, you need to go in there, like this is what I need you to do. They're like, so there's a group of people hiding something, okay, and it's not only in one location, it's in several locations. And so this Nancy Drew is telling these two guys, we'll just call them the brothers Grimm. Their brothers. She's like, you need to go in there and you need to find out this, and this. And they're like, yeah, let's just talk about getting her nailed. Like, this needs to look smooth, okay? Because they're like, you are obviously not the one for this job. So she's like, well, I'm just serious. Like, this is the information that you need, okay? So now these guys are thinking, like, okay, how are we going to get this information and make it look legit? Because they're honestly not. So it's like they're half taking it serious, but they also know it needs to look like they don't want to get found out, because whatever this is serious information. And this Nancy is very, very worried about it. They are taking note that she is scared about this, and she's very serious about this. So they are low-key worried about her, even if they're just kind of like this weirdo. They can tell that she's honestly upset about this. They're like, we'll handle this for you. So that's kind of where the mode that I'm in. So then these guys, this is more like, first they want to find out. So okay, so now here they are like discussing how they're gonna do that. So they're being realistic. So they're thinking, well, first we need to just even find out if these blow up bees are lying or the girls are lying, okay? It's a group of women, I think, but then there's also different ones with men, okay? So they get into this. So first we just need to see if they're lying, and then we'll be able to tell if we need to go further into this. So they're doing these silly little things because just to catch them in little lies, and I don't even know how to describe it, because they're just random shit. Like one girl might have been talking in code to her friend, okay, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go to this party, blah blah blah. They're like making a big deal about it to try to make Nancy Drew feel bad. Let's say they're coworkers, okay, and like Nancy looks like uncomfortable. The other girls are talking about this party they're gonna go to, and the rest of the coworkers are not paying attention. So she's talking about it. She's like, you don't understand. They said they were like a ritual. It could be anything, okay? So then they're like, well, let's just even see if like how their party was, okay? But they do it in this way where it tricks the women, because these guys are really intelligent. they could literally come up with anything. Like, they could just be like, hey, Marie, how come you didn't order cleaning supplies this month? You know what I mean? Like, and she's like, well, I was really busy. I'm like, well, because there's party? And I'm like, what party? It's just something weird. Like, it's totally a back around. They always seem legit and serious, but they get their answer. And it's always like by the end of the conversation, they've like mind effed this person, okay? To whatever like answer they were looking for, you know. And the guys are smart enough to realize like it only takes them a second to read body language and to know like what's off. So it's really easy for them, and they're starting to realize like what the f, something's going on here. And they're excited about how they're able, like they're excited now about the mystery, okay, but they haven't even really gotten to the point of like this could be real yet. I mean, I think I might be talking about a couple of different levels of people, because it's definitely like a group of like 3 or 4 now, because we're thinking like these guys call themselves the wise men. There's another group that calls themselves the dark knights. So like there's like other groups, okay, like some of these people, this is very serious. They've looked up different historical information. They're trying to match information. They you know, they'll like, you know, pick a book or pick a history topic and pick a year, and then they'll divide it. Like they're really trying to put this stuff together, and they're very into this. They just don't happen to know Nancy Drew and these 2 other guys. There's very different levels to this, okay? This is a collective message for people who are trying to get to the bottom of something and also know that it's serious. Now, even if the 2 or the group that's trying to just like, okay, whatever, I'll figure this out for you. Like, these are generally good people, good men or women, but they don't usually surround themselves with like conspiracy theory or fanatical ideas or anything like that. Like, they're yeah, I've seen all the action movies, I know about mythology. Like, they're very like, they're very real and very just consumed with their daily activities, but they are generally good people, okay? So now they have other people coming to them, asking them for help, and they're like, you gotta give this secret, and they're like, whoa, man, whoa, chill. So these are different levels of people, okay? But it does feel like once I started sitting here and when I was putting the T's together, that the people that are searching for others to help are really realizing that they need this person's skill, and they know that they need to convince this person. So like I'm thinking of the movie, no, I just lost it, I can see his face. Yeah, it's almost like that, but not, kind of. What's it called? No, it's not called Can't Buy Me Love. This is about like it's like they're not using these people, but like they need them. But like, so it's like, okay, there's many different levels of ego stroking going on here. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And then some people need other people to do the next relay race. Okay, and sometimes they're like, because this is serious, and however it needs to get done, and even if you don't believe, like, I need you to care. So it's like there's a lot of different people, I feel like, by the time I'm doing this reading, or the time that you see this reading, that are now coming together. Okay, so I want to get back to the other 2, because now we're like branching and I haven't even finished shuffling, which this is gonna definitely be 2, and I had to leave my room in 30, guys. So all right, I'm not meaning to pull cards, a few are just coming out, and that's just because these are like messages for me right now that have nothing to do with the reading. Because I got the 8 of Wands and the High Priestess, and then I got the 8 of Swords, and those are just for me, because what's happening right now is I was focused on a message of first 1 and then 2, and then now, because this is the collective reading, more is coming too fast, okay? And then when it comes too fast and I'm being monitored, like if you do watch readings often and you know about that, you know about the thoughts that are coming through, and if you are a reader or a medium, you do know you're being monitored. So that's now they're trying to like confuse me and stress me by bringing them in too fast to block me. So that was just a private message for me. And then I'm still shuffling, but the next cards that came out are the 7 of Swords, the Tower in reverse, and then the Empress. So like the Empress would be me, or be like you if you were trying to get out the message, and then all of a sudden like you start to feel sick, like Now, this has nothing to do with a spiritual attack from anyone that has passed on to a level that you can't see. So, what's happening to me right now in this moment, I'm almost 25 minutes into my recording. This also happened to me when I was on the bus and I was thinking about doing my reading because I was preparing. So, if you are any type of sensitive, sometimes before you can even give a message, you're already, some people call it downloading, but you're already receiving part of it, okay? That is the energy that needs and wants to come through you. So if you are somebody like that, that's serious, because then you know, well, I need to get this out, and I honestly, like, is serious to me. So then that's when a monitor will realize, like, we're getting real downloads over there, you know, and then they'll send you this confusion and then these spiritual attacks against you so that you cannot get your message out. So, like, what happens to me, I'm experiencing sensations like the messages are coming in too fast, and since I am a human, I can only deliver one train of thought at one time vocally for you. Okay, I only have one voice and it only comes through one channel. But as a sensitive, I can communicate and feel from every single direction, but I can only focus on one at a time vocally for you. So what they're doing is they're trying to push in too much for me so that I cannot have a coherent thought just to get that vocal out for you. And that's the Tower and the Seven of Swords, because they're literally like attacking me with their energy so that I can't get out a truthful message for you. And so I feel I get itchy, really, really itchy. The past 3 times I've done a read, I get really, really itchy. My crown chakra, so when I was talking about the guys earlier, like, they might start to feel, they need to use incense. Please use good incense. I really like Sea Witch Botanicals, but like, do use good incense, okay? But just to cleanse yourself, because I was thinking once they do, their crown chakra is going to start feeling tingly, okay? Because they're really in the flow and the vibe, and I know that my spirit guides are happy that they're like moving forward and like they need them to do this, okay? So it's like the same thing as me doing a reading, and that's when you're like, well, I'm on mission, and it has something to do with religion, but it's like something you need to do, you have to do. You've already decided to unlock the door, so you're like, okay, invisible team, I'm gonna unlock that door. So they're counting on you to get to the door and unlock it. That's the feeling, okay? So for me at this moment, my crown chakra hurts. It feels like I'm getting hammered into the ground, okay? So I'm just having and then I feel really hot, and it feels like, you know, if you're in a vice, you know, crushing me. So they don't want me to get this message out. Now, this, when I say they, I am not talking about someone that you cannot see. I'm talking about your next door neighbor or your boss, okay? That's they. Those are the monitors. These people are alive that are using ancient energy mixed with technology. So this is not a joke. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a fanatical thought. So if you're listening to a psychic, you're listening to a medium, or listening to a sensitive, and they're like, I'm being monitored, like, they're not being monitored by spirit, okay? They're being monitored by people who call themselves spirit. And there's a difference. So like, these people that are alive use real matter mixed with electricity and radiation and all kinds of stuff to make us sick, but they really do send us the attacks. And what they try to do is they try to mimic what a spiritualist or a naturalist or a medium can do naturally. We can naturally do this with each other, especially if we are part of the same soul tribe, which is sort of like this same race, the same creature, same being. I mean, it's 2026. Many of us are connected now, but you could consider that a royal family or the rulers. Like, they must be there to make the law. I mean, you have no other choice. If you want to be alive and you want to be living here as a human, you must follow our law. Like, they're all over the planet. They do have real jobs. That's why it's like, if you don't take your job seriously in this family, then you need to leave, because we have real jobs to protect the planet. It's very serious. So if you take a real spiritual person like that, they're born that way, okay? And then that is why they need to have families, they need to have advisors, they need to have real professionals that are teaching them about real stuff so that they can really do their job and grow into who they are. So like, if you've seen the show Grimm, it's just a show, it's on television, okay? So it's like when they are going through a change, it's like when a child is growing and it's like all of a sudden they're going through a shed or they're going through a puberty or something like that, and they're growing into part of their gifts. and they call it Vogel, but it's spelled with a W. It's like they need to have their family around. They need to be able to learn the certain way to handle whatever they're going to experience. So this is actually very real. It is the same thing as learning how to take care of your body, learning how to read and write. So if you take that away from someone, and that is the same also, it's like if you're not teaching people how to take care of themselves and necessities and giving them any type of safety or care, then they will never know how to take care of themselves. And so that is the very basic of it. But it also, if you're in certain families, if you have certain gifts, those need to be nurtured. So that's real. And people like that are born that way. And then when they're born that way, they not only are born with a gift or a talent, you can call it, but specific families have people that are going to be born to do something. So when they have that talent, that talent needs to be nurtured to see what else they can do with it, to protect, to continue to inspire. Those are honestly, that's it. Like, it is their job. It is part of their job being born a royal. So not only are they born that way, they need to work on it continuously, being a good person in this lifetime to continue to support their family bloodline. And that would be your connection here to everything, to time and space and earth and everything, in all directions. So you're not only working on your divinity in every lifetime, you're protecting every creature and every life form in all planes. You're always working to protect. And as you do that, you grow and you become more of a royal. So some people are born in that family and then they have to earn their divinity again in this lifetime, but they're already born that way. And then others are earning their immortality by earning their divinity every lifetime so that they come back. That's what immortality is. So that when you die physically, that no one can see you here, you're just going to another side, but there's many sides, but another side that you've earned, okay? And you will continue to go to different sides that you've earned, and then you can come back here at a certain point if you wanted to. So that is how you earn your immortality. Not everybody alive is immortal, and that's very, like, we're all going to die. We're all going to recycle. It's just, where are you going to go? And that's more than hell or different dimensions or anything like that. So, politics aside, that's honestly just the basic truth of it. It is why they had royal families. They are born with certain talents that need to be nurtured so that they can protect. Okay? And then, so what is happening, so I can circle back, you have the ones, and I say they, okay, that are alive, that you can call them witches, scientists, doctors, whatever. They are trying to steal what we have and then mimic that so that they can use that to project that onto what everybody sees in the world through everything, television and law and all that stuff. So don't get that confused, okay? Anyways, what was I doing? Oh, okay, I'm supposed to talk about the tea for a minute. Okay, so real quick, so I was just saying this. So these guys, multiple people, need to, if you're not already, you need to be in a flow of, I'm just going to let this bounce off, but my only goal is to get to the truth, okay? And you can always catch someone in a lie. You really can. If you want to just catch them in a lie, you know their tell. And you're like, well, dang, okay? And then you have another avenue. But you got to keep it light. So, like, that's what these people are doing because they're, and then, and it always ends in the conversation, they're like, what the, I'm like, what are you, like, that's how they, and then they're like, gotcha to themselves, okay? Because when you get caught in a lie, you're like, are you kidding me? Are you serious right now? It's the same thing. And so then they know, okay? It's really funny, but it's true. And it's really easy then. You're like, whoa, I thought we had SOPs here. I didn't realize we were running a mean girl group, And then all of a sudden they caught him in another lie and another lie and another lie. And these are professionals, okay? Because you're talking about, oh, stop with your little fantasy and you're not mentally well, and this is a conspiracy and you're fanatic. Well, this is actually happening. And that is why people like this who are very realists can be like, what? Hold on a second. Like, we have a law. Like, I know the economy's bad, like, there is a law. So, like, these people are realists, and that is kind of where we're at today. with people realizing that something is going on here. And it's not just a drug addict crying for help because social media is just everywhere right now and everybody wants to drunk text and call everybody. No, it kind of sounds like you're hiding something, B. Yeah. So, just to let you know. Okay, I'm actually getting really out of breath, so I'm going to take a quick pause and shuffle my cards, only because of what I just told you about. I'm like getting a warning by spirit that this is moving too fast for me, and I'm not feeling very well. And so if I continue to stay like fighting these monitors at the same time that I'm trying to get a message out, my head just hurts again. I want to collapse them in public. I don't have an emergency contact. Nobody is going to help me. And yeah, the last time I called an ambulance on myself for chest pains, and they put me in restraints due to my diagnosis, which I decided to get a proper diagnosis, and I still don't even know what it is, and I never got an evaluation. But either way, it was a really uncomfortable night, so I don't want to faint on the streets. So I will see you in a minute. Okay, hi, I'm back. Sorry, it's still Tuesday, February 10, 2026. It is 1:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyways, okay, I had to stop by and I had to shuffle, and then it took me a minute to calm down because I didn't feel well. And I was thinking of the ones that I was thinking of this morning anyway, so I was able to recap back to them, and they made me feel better. So I feel like I'm back in that story, which is where I wanted to be when I started filming again anyway. So first, really quick, I want to talk about the teas that are over here. This is funny because these two that I'm thinking of actually might be brothers. I don't know, because that's just kind of what I started to get while I was shuffling. And I'll just tell you the story I was getting. So I think these might be brothers. I don't know for sure, or sisters, but I think brothers. Okay, so I have these two teas here, and like I was saying before, they are similar to each other, but different, obviously. They complement each other. And the reason I'm saying brothers is because one's a Sweet Dreams and one's Cozy Chamomile, okay? And the other, we'll take one thing at a time, sorry. Okay, the reason I'm saying brothers is because they're not best friends, but they share a similar types of memory that only the two of them might know. And so it could definitely be your best friend, but it's kind of like, that's why when you use a phrase and you're just like, I'm not part of the inside joke. Well, these people have an extreme amount of inside jokes, whether they wanted to or not. So that's why I was kind of thinking family. Like, well, you know, you might not always spend time with your family member when you become an adult, but usually when you're children, if you're doing family stuff, you're always with your family. So only you and your family would have those inside jokes type of thing. So these two people are coming together, and they're like, you know what, we understand, we complement each other types of thing. One person likes the taste of raw onions, and the other one is thinking of the movie Clockwork Orange or something like that. Hopefully it's a horror movie, I think. I've never seen the movie, so I don't even know if I said that right, but I have no idea. But both of these two people have different talents that complement each other, and basically when I'm saying talents, it's because they are part of that inside joke. So they would do really well at trivia if it was like family trivia, you know what I mean? Or if you're best friends, it's like, remember that one summer and they were bunkmates, so it's like they're gonna know everything. They could say like orange jug or 7 p.m. or sunsets on the lake, you know, and that person is going to know exactly what they're talking about, and someone else in the room is going to be like, I love sunsets, you know, so it's something like that. These two get along, but they're also kind of like, you're a moron to each other type of feeling. Like for example, the person who likes the taste of onions also doesn't like mint, okay? And so it's like, to the other person, they're like, how can you not like mint if you like onion? It's basically like, and they're like, what do you mean? It's not spicy. And they're like, well, mint's not spicy either. So it's like, it's something like that, okay? Like, for example, one of them likes Cozy Chamomile, okay? The other one likes the sweet dreams one, okay? The only difference is this one has soothing mint or whatever, but so they would be like, yes, and they'd each have their favorite. It's hard to explain. And then in here too, it's like, someone is thinking like you're giving me a headache because it's aspirin. Do I have earplugs in here? No, I have chapstick. I was gonna put earplugs in there. I was like, what? Anyway, so someone is like offering them. Let's say they don't have their favorites. Okay, someone's offering them this passion tea. Oops, sorry. It's 2:00. Okay, someone's offering them this passion tea. They're like, what? I don't know why. They're like, there's nothing to soothe my throat here. For some reason, that's what I'm thinking, okay? Like, it almost hurts my throat. It's kind of the way I feel about, like, cider. It almost hurts my throat, so it has to be the right temperature. And it's kind of hard to explain. But this person's like, well, it's something to calm them down. And then she's trying, okay, this might be a mother figure or a friend or something like that. But she's, like, trying to find what they'll both like, but this is all we have. It's hard to explain, but she's honestly trying her best. So there's like they're both like there's no one, and this might be an actual argument they had because this person here is like, well, I don't feel like there's enough of a kick or something like spice, and this person's like, you don't like peppermint. What are you talking about? And the other guy's like, I don't like spearmint, not peppermint. I don't know what it is, but it's like something strange. And this person's like, well. Okay, so they find this one, and it's peppermint, and they're look, if you mix the peppermint with the rose and the hibiscus, it's gonna calm the peppermint down, so it's not gonna be as spicy. So it's like, it's something like that, and then it's like giving the other person a headache. Like the relationship that these two have with each other gives this other person a headache, but this other person's nurturing, like they're trying to help. I don't know, it's something like that. So it's almost like I'm thinking of brothers, but then if it's sisters, I was thinking of the movie, it's not light, I'd rather have this one. I was thinking of that movie, A League of Their Own, and so it's almost like the sisters when they're like not racing back to the house, but they are, and all of a sudden they're in a full-blown sprint. Like, it's kind of like that, and then the other person, the maternal figure kind of just watches them, like, oh, goodness gracious. And then, so this might be a family because I have these chairs in the background. They're irritating me. There's nothing I can do because this room is small. And then I only had 2 chairs in the back. But then for some reason, it was like that there was another chair. And I was like, I almost felt like we were having more company or something. And then you could see 4 chairs, okay? But then you could also see a phone jack behind one of the chairs. I was like, oh my gosh. So I started to rearrange the chairs. And then I heard someone say, sit in the goddamn chair. I was just like, leave it alone or something. And then I got back, and then I went to press record, and I realized it was in photo mode. So now I'm in video mode, and you can't even see the third chair. So it was almost like, it's like almost like what happened right before the photo was taken or something. I don't know. That was just the image I was getting, okay? Or like leave the chair. I don't know. And it's like they tried so hard, and then it wasn't even. And then they're like, they're like, hi, but like all of them are stressed out. I don't know. Either way, okay. So then this is like separate. Let me put this back in here so we feel better. Okay. But then I was sort of shuffling fast when I was doing it anyways. I was thinking of this, and this card came out here, which is the wild boar. Oh my gosh, I can't reach. I don't know. It might slide down. Okay. I don't have my books anymore, but I'm pretty sure this one is similar, or it has the vibe of, okay, let me just tell you. I don't really care about the book. This person is an elder, is a male, I think. It could be a mother if we're talking about daughters, but I'm pretty sure this is a father figure, okay? Or like an uncle, or a cool neighbor that they trust, okay? Whatever it is, this is an elder to whoever these 2 people are, but this is the male figure. And he feels like he has told a lot of lies, but he feels like he can use his skill to help out. But he's like, okay, so that brings me to this next point. So if they're a family member, let's say, and you have inside jokes. And so my mom used to tell me, my sister, that we were ganging up on her. I'm like, what? And that's only if we were smiling or laughing, because she would know. See, sometimes in a family, you don't really know if you can laugh or not, okay? In many different families. So usually if we were laughing, my mom's looking at us like, why are you laughing at me, type of feeling. And I mean, that's on her, but I mean, usually we were. Because that was like that inside joke. And it's like, my mom was a really bad person. So when my mumsy was, yeah. So when she would do something to hurt us, you know, it's like, well, we have to be hurt. But we also thought she was ridiculous. So like, we would laugh, you know, at certain things because she looked ridiculous, she acted ridiculous, like we knew she was a psychopath. So it's like, you can withhold stuff from someone, you can make them feel stupid. I mean, you can physically hurt them, but it's like, they know you're a psycho. So it's like, when my sister and I would experience something and she looked weird and crazy, we would like laugh and we would have memories of that. So it's almost like that. I was like, nobody else will get it besides my sister and I, but we are laughing at you. So it's hard to explain, okay? Anyways, this is not like normal humor. That's like, you couldn't be in a room with just a bunch of average people and then someone say something and then you start laughing. It would be like, only these two know this just because of their specific experiences together, where they're like, this person's acting like a goofball. Like this, so these people over here, they're thinking different, okay? But yeah, so it's like the same vibe. So it's like, they're thinking, they used to, or at some point, it's like they have these inside brother jokes where it's making the elder here, they're like, well, you think I'm just a goofball type of thing. Like, I know you don't think I'm good at this type of thing. Okay, that's where we're at, because now they're adults. So not kids anymore. So then I got these two cards, and they were still pertaining to the wild boar. So he's thinking like, either he's thinking this or people are already aware of this, but he doesn't feel like he's been, these are just gonna slide. He doesn't feel like he's been the most honorable his whole life. He does feel like he's told lies to get what he wants because it was part of his job, actually, whatever his job was. But they consider them like they have to get it done, whatever that means. And, you know, so it's not only muscle and attack, but it's like, it's part of like the eye for the eye. So they're like, you know, like, you took one of ours, now it's our turn. So it's like, it's part of that. And so this person, so he's okay, so what's happening right now is like, let's imagine these two are brothers and this is their dad, and their dad is like trying, so it's almost like, I don't know if the two brothers went to their parents for help, or like maybe they're at a family dinner because now they're adults. So, or these two brothers are just thinking about, I don't really know, because now the family is involved somehow. So I don't know if he overheard the brothers kind of talking about this, or maybe they were asking the maternal figure a question, and then the dad's hearing this, okay? This dad reminds me of one of my ex-boyfriend's dads. He was a second, and he was a big drinker when he was, you know, father age-ish. He doesn't consider himself the best dad or the best husband. He was pretty rough. He was a hunter and he drank a lot. But then, you know, when his kids grew up, he stopped drinking and he started smoking marijuana. It was just, you know, like a peace pipe, but he didn't drink anymore. So he really did change in a way where he was, you know, remorseful of how he behaved in the past, but he was still like a really good dad and grandpa. Like, he really, and still to this day, tries everything he can do to make amends with his family. You know, and his own son was a complete jerk to him. It was a complete jerk. But either way, like, this is a person who was like, you know what, I understand I did wrong, and I honestly am doing everything I can to make up for what I did. So this is a good person, and does realize, like, whatever reputation they have was not the best. But they are also, I think they are also a religious person, and it doesn't mean that they have to go to church or have a specific, like, like everybody has a different word for religion, but it's like they don't practice something every day, but they are aware of a church. I don't know which one. They are aware of working off their penance, and they do feel like they want to be a better person. They do consider heaven to be real, and they do want to go to heaven. So this person is overhearing, and they're just kind of, well, I know you guys don't take me seriously because you think I'm a whatever, but honestly, this person knows a lot of information, and he knows information like way up here. And even if he doesn't know like all the details, he like has the map. Or he's really good at being like, well, obviously it's right there. I can see it right there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, well, and he's being serious. Like, this is a skill that this man had that he hasn't even probably told his sons about. His wife might know about it, but this is something that he's actually very good at. It's almost like predicting, but not. This is real. It's almost like he knows the locations on the map, even if he doesn't know the details of it. That's what I keep thinking. I'm not sure. So this is like a basic skill that he is not basic, but to everybody else, they might not even realize that he had this talent. Some people might know him for that specifically. Like, well, obviously we're gonna go to so and so. He's in the sky. That's like, maybe people have said that to him before. His best. No, that's different. Because that was a family member who's on the road. Like, he had, whoever this man is, lost somebody really dear to him. He lost someone really dear to him, and it would have been somebody who would have been on the ground. Okay? And then when this man is in wild boar mode, he's in attack mode. And so this is when whoever this compliment is, maybe I'll pull another one to see, it would be in the sky, okay? But whoever his compliment is doesn't have the same gift as he has, but it's more like he's waiting with backup already. Like, so whoever his counterpart is, like, and I'm talking about like friends, like if it's his brother or his best friend or someone, whoever he's lost, it would be like that's their other eyes, like their teammate. So whoever his teammate was very good with getting information and details and kind of like in the nitty gritty of it. And then this one more has like a, I'll say the word coming to me is pounder. But he might definitely be the muscle. Like, I was thinking of my Uncle Ray. Like, I would not want to mess with my Uncle Ray. Like, if you just saw him, you'd be like, oh God. He had a baseball bat and a white sweater. Always had a white sweater. And then sometimes it was cream. Like, Aunt Tony, it's time to buy a new white sweater. You just bought one yesterday. That's private. Anyways, my Uncle Ray was a muscle, and I would not want to mess with him. That's almost like how this man is. Okay, but he has information, and it's like he doesn't, and it's not that he doesn't know what to do with it. He would never use it. Like, this is serious. You don't break command, whatever that means. So, I mean, it would just be like anything else. Like, if you were part of a gang or a group or a family, well, it depends on how close your family is, but it's like if it's a company, each employee only has so much information, and that's to protect the bosses. So, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, this person is very loyal, and they use him for a lot of stuff that he doesn't even probably realize, like, especially when he was younger, because he definitely considered himself a ruffian. Like, they were pretty hardcore, and they are really lucky because it's like, how do we survive that? I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. Anyway, let's see what card comes out for his camera, because that's what he's thinking about. This one, the blue heron. So I would say that whoever this guy's missing was a very spiritual person, like a hippie. Yeah, a hippie, and also he was really good with synchronicity. Like, this guy could pick up coincidences like nobody's business, and then sometimes, like, and this has something to do with your sexual orientation or anything, but sometimes, especially if you're around men who are really masculine and you're just really comfortable and you're serene and peaceful, sometimes other guys give you a hard time, like sissy or ninny or, swing both, whatever, So it's like you have a lot of like men who are uncomfortable with this type of, it's not femininity, it's just he's comfortable with himself, and this makes this type of person, it makes a lot of people feel uncomfortable because they're just everything. They're not racist, they're not biased, they're just like smooth, but they understand all perspectives, and they're very peaceful. They're like, hey man, just come on, let's all, and they're like, what? And I'm like, okay. So it's like nothing bothers this guy. So like, whatever. That's the vibe of that guy, whoever this best friend is. But this one prefers to stay low to the ground. This one is different. And it's not, has nothing to do with height, like physical height. This is something like how they do business. So, I don't know. Like, okay, it's different. Because let's say they're undercover detectives. This guy does a double part. So first, he's already formulating the plan, but he also like knows the outcome. So he's ensuring the outcome, okay? But it's also knowing where everyone's at on the map. And then this one, okay, wait, first still. So then when it's time to just, okay, it's go time, here we go. Then he turns into the wild boar. Okay, so now it's like action. It's my second piece of my part. So then he gets into this part. And people know him really heavily for this piece. They might not know about this one. This part of him is kind of secret. Then this guy, people know. So it's like, so if you're like good cop, bad cop, you're like, is this even a cop? Dude, you're stoned. I don't know. It's the head. And he's like, see ya. And then he's like, I'm cuffing your ass. And they're like, what? That's the vibe of this guy. So this is something about when this man was younger and his best friend or someone that he worked with or a brother that he misses today. So I guess my advice would be for these two brothers that need to calm down. I guess you should listen to your dad. I don't know, whatever that's supposed to mean. I haven't even really pulled any real cards yet. And I'm debating on just not. Like, this was an intuitive message. So should we keep going? They're like, yes, I need to give me some. These brothers are so needy. I'm thinking of the mom. I think the mom likes show tunes. I think the younger boys, when they were younger, they used to watch show tunes with their mom. I think they had a really kind of serious family. One of them likes to put fresh flowers on the table for their mom. I think that's really sweet. But we won't go into their details, so now they're getting all uncomfortable. I'm not going to. I don't pray. I'm not going to. Okay, sorry. All right, let's pull out a masculine deck. I'm going to pull out this one because they're getting weird. Aw, thanks, guys. Sorry, that was the first time that came out. I'm just going to put that one away because I'm hidden. Just kidding. There's the Hierophant. So, these two are funny. I'm not insecure. I'm enough for me, but I have like a nervous feeling about myself right now. Okay, here's my next two cards. No, I'm not. They fell out up front, but my arm's like way out here. But if you could see it, my arm's fully extended, so I can't shuffle in front of the canvas for you. Okay, here we go. This is these two guys. All right, the goofy one that is like being silly right now because they like Ace Ventura, so this one is just being silly. Yeah. This one though, I don't know if he has legal troubles or if he's being bribed, or I don't know. It's like he feels like he can't get out of something. He's trying to, whatever it is. It's funny. But I just feel like they're working together now. And they're working together now because they know that whatever this is that Nancy Drew was talking about is real. Okay? And their family might also know that it's real. I'm not really sure. They also might be trying to get the truth. Like, they're trying to get to the bottom of something. They want the truth known, whatever this is. I don't know if these people, like I was saying, one thing about religion, like, I don't know if they go to church. I don't know if they've been to church, because whoever this is, it doesn't feel like super religious. But it is. So it's like a heart. I don't know, because I wasn't raised in the church, but like, they're aware of the church. But they feel like it needs to be them that says it. And it makes them uncomfortable. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. I feel like they're determined. Like, I would not be surprised if we get the Ace of Wands or a King of Wands or something. Because they both feel like I'm on mission. It's really hard to explain. I don't even know if that's the word. I don't know. Which one's next? One brother's like, show us the hoodoo deck. The other brother's like, I wonder if she has another deck. While you're watching this, just see if I confirm that. Anyway, no one comments yet, but if you did, and if that's true, I would love to know if that's true. If they were watching this together, anticipating my reads. Because I don't know, it's like, it's hard to explain. They do like sci-fi. They do, so they like all of this mystical, magical stuff, but at the same time, it's like forbidden. I don't even know how to explain that either. I think they're both feeling a lot of guilt about something. Oh, I don't know. They both feel like they. It's like, this feels personal, and I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I feel like they both kind of feel like failures, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like, I don't know if they had money, they could have had money, or they could have picked a certain career and didn't. It feels like they kind of waited, or they didn't have the confidence to go to something. Like, I'm not really sure, but it's like they feel like it's like they're not the King of Pentacles, but they want to be the King of Pentacles. They kind of feel like they messed up because they were a part of something that is like a creepy, it's not like creepy, it's sort of like a violent group. So they have the Five of Swords. And it's definitely involved with the law. They don't want anyone in the law to know. So they're trying to decide, should I confess, should I not confess? People know, do they know? If I did confess, will the truth come out? Because I honestly feel like they're innocent, but at the same time, they either know something, or they don't want to get someone else in trouble, or they, like, let's say they had to join something when they were younger, and they had no choice, and they had to hurt someone, you know? And then it's like, well, am I going to tell them that I did that because I had to, but, like, I have more information? Am I going to get charged for something? I don't know. There's a confusion about the law involved here. I know, it's like, I don't know about code enforcement, so they're not sure about that. And they are really, really sad. Like, they're guilty. They are not guilty. These people are good people, so they feel guilty, but they're not as guilty as they think they are, or something. Loss and pleasure. I don't know. It's like they lost something. And sorry, I should have started the cards, but I got the Fool, and I got the King of Pentacles, and I got the High Priestess, and the Five of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. So I don't know if it's because if it was part of a friend group, if it's part of a business that they belong to. I don't know if they should have said something when it was time and they didn't. Oh. They feel very responsible for something religious-y. And I'm sorry I said it like that. I don't know. I've never read the Bible. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. A lot of times when I get stuff, I forget it. But this is something, it has something to do with the church, and it has something to do with the law. And not only were they raised like this, they feel like they let, like, God down. So it's a very big deal. The good news is they're doing something about it now. They're just they let me use a different knife. They feel like they're taking way too long. Way too long. And they're right. That's what it is. Like, what's the holdup here? This should happen in 2 seconds. Ann Arbor is like 15 minutes away if there's traffic and you're taking the back roads, so we're still confused. So, the good news is that hopefully we get some momentum that's going to pick up. I'm not going to tell you all the cards that pop out because I read an entire storyline at the same time, so it just, don't worry about that right now. Just, you can tell me if it resonates. What? It's like, I'm not saying this is about me, so I'm not gonna make it about me. They might have a common interest in someone, whoever these groups are, and there's multiple people that want the same person. So that's just what's coming out. I'll put them here so you can see. It's so hard to see, and I apologize for that. That's what's happening right now. These two, or like, you know how I was saying that there's multiple levels of people, like there's the wise men, there's the dark knights, there's all kinds of different groups. This might be the woman that they are concerned about, or God. So it could be someone that they're like, oh my God, this is real type of feeling, okay? Because what we were talking about earlier is I was thinking of two specific, and then it's branching off because it's collective energy. So they feel really bad about someone or something that they have not unlocked, something that they have not saved, something they have not done. It's more than by the book, because this is like, it's more than, it's like, this is what we grew up on, and then other people are like, this is real, like, so whatever it is, there's a massive guilt. And then, so there are groups of people working to restore whatever this is, because there's a Hierophant and then there's the Four of Wands. And in this Four of Wands, this is a church. Okay, so I do feel like there are groups of people trying to work now to restore whatever they're trying to get to the bottom of. However, I do feel like there's this Nine of Pentacles that is also the World in the middle, and this Lovers. So it's like, because we also have the Ten of Cups, and then an unsure feeling, like, who am I going to choose? So it does feel like now that they're on the mend to help whatever they're going to be helping, it's like a lot of people feel like the sense of competition. And it's strange, because it's not strange. There's one person, they're like, who's she going to choose? And then in other groups of people that there's more, like, some people have fallen in love with each other during this. Like, let's say you're in a huddle, and you're like, you know what, guys, let's huddle after this Zoom or whatever. And then they do, and they're all trying to figure out this mystery of how to restore what has been stolen. And then they have fallen in love, like, in the process. But there's like, well, it's like, they might not have told each other, you know what I mean? Like, so let's say there's like a group of 5 to 7 people that are now working together, like sharing information, like, okay, we're all, you know, we read that book, The Quest, so now let's talk about who had chapters 1 through 5, you know what I'm saying? And so they're all like getting to know each other through this process. So there's like a lot of romance going on, but it hasn't been fully spoken about, like, because these are good people. Like, I'm still in good people, okay? I'm not talking about their ops, the ones trying to hurt us. It's like, this isn't a competition where it's like, it's us versus you. This is us, would be our soul tribe, people listening to this message who resonate with what I'm saying, are being attacked, okay? And we're just trying to survive. So that's different than you. So you are attacking and stealing. So do you understand the difference? We're not versus each other. We are trying to survive your attacks. It's very important that these people, when I say they and them, and I'm not talking about LGBTQ, this is totally separate, so chill. But when you're like, this is war, it's not. I'm existing and trying to protect what I have, and you are invading my space, and I don't like it, and I said no, and I don't want to die. Like, that is where we're at, so don't get it twisted. I don't think so. So anyway, there are people that are trying to solve this, and so then we have people forming relationships that I honestly haven't really spoken about it because I'm feeling like tension. Like if this breaks, we're so close. When this breaks, like who's gonna end up together? That's what someone's thinking. They're like really stressed out about it. I don't know from who. It could be multiple sides. Okay, because there's like love is in the air. And that's honestly what was supposed to happen anyways. Of the vibration of divine love was supposed to coat the planet, okay? But when you have all this weird stuff in the atmosphere and you started a war instead, like that was the coming of the new earth. Like that's what's happening, is to bring divine love back together, heal a divine masculine bloodline, heal a divine feminine bloodline in each singular person's bloodline, and then it goes back to restore the royal courts all over the planet, the ones who are truly here to protect. Pretty soon, if you really truly wipe these people out, the people that are listening, okay, if you keep doing the destruction that you're doing, you are literally changing instinct so that animals and humans will not naturally be attracted to their same species, so that they cannot procreate and carry, I don't really know, I'm not sciencey, I'm sorry, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying, like so that their species can continue. So like all of a sudden you don't have any more animals on the planet, so we don't have any food, and all of a sudden flowers can't grow because it's like they don't know how to grow. It's like you're taking away natural instinct from every single thing that exists, just because you're jealous that you don't want people to fall in love. So that's really creepy. Yeah, it is, if you think about that. But so then you have these group of people that are like, you know what, no matter what, like I'm not as bad as I think I am, or I mean, saving what is real is more important than my crimes or something, or whatever they're trapped in. So they're honestly trying to figure out like a way. So he's like snowboarding, so he's still kind of trapped, but he's trying to get out of it. And he's doing it in this backwards way. It's like this guy is very goofy, and he's not like an idiot. He's actually very, very smart. So it's like these guys, how they're approaching life in the daytime right now is in a very silly, boom, 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 like ping pong or something like that, or pinball, but it's not, they're not gonna let it bother them. It's like they're on the offense trying to trick these other ones into catching their tails. Like, are they telling a lie? Like, here's the next avenue and the next avenue, and then they can give information back to someone else. So it's like if Nancy Drew is a scientist and she can't have, morning coffee with the mean girls, but she's like, look, these results are really messed up. I need you to something. She's going to like the two mean hot guys, but like, can you just see what you can do? And they're like, they go back to answer and they're like, damn, you're right. She's definitely lying. What do you want us to do next? Because they're into this too. So there's many groups. And that feels good. It feels like we're gonna be okay, like we're gonna be rescued. This is my bear. He's a garnet bear. I got him at a fossil store in downtown Ann Arbor, and I named him Rescue. So that feels good. Okay. Honestly, I kind of want to stop here because it's like the mystery for next read. We have, it feels hopeful. It really does. Because on the bottom of my deck, I have Ace of Pentacles and... where is she? Okay, I knew it was that one, the Hangman. But I was like, is it the Devil card? And it's not. And honestly, the color of the card's different too. It's more bluish. But when I saw it, I was kind of thinking like, there's also a woman who's, like whatever this is very historic and religious. So there's that. They want advice, but it's like, you guys are on the right track. My spirit guides think you're doing great. They love to keep it silly. So it's like when you're in this much torture, that's why I laugh so much, because I am in so much pain. Like, I experience everything right now, especially because what's happening is extremely painful. I miss my children and what's mine and soon. And I'm out here running for my life. However, I have to search for the humor in literally every part of the day as well. So it's like, I don't know enough about sanity when you're this tortured. This is just all I have left of me. So I try to hang on to every bit I can, but is really important to however you can get your amusement, by following the law. Like, please don't backhand someone to make them feel bad to give you amusement. But it's like, if you can focus on a memory or just like, I don't know, random. I really amuse myself. And I think that's really important, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to continue through the day like I am. And it's like, if you don't see a person talking to themselves, you have to wonder why. You have to be like, have you ever heard of self-analyzing? Also, I don't laugh at myself. This is also my spirit team. Like, I laugh at them sometimes, but usually they laugh at me. So it's hard to explain. But I'm sure a lot of people are like, Kelly, you cray. And I know. But also, I'm aware of each crazy part of me. Okay, anyways. I want to be done, and someone's like, don't be done. I'll do one more last card. Let's just see what it is. It's so random, because I'm honestly, like, I don't have anything else to give you guys at the moment. My messages are done. I'm done with my miracle morning, and I'm almost done with my miracle afternoon. So, I'm doing really good today. Okay, that was easy. We got the 2 of Cups on top of the Lovers, and we have the 6 of Cups. This is actually the 6 of Cups this time. So, I'm feeling love is in the air, I'm honest. Oh my gosh, okay. I haven't done anything with this deck, but I flipped it over to see what the last and the first card were. We have the Lovers right here. Sorry, let's just do this. The Lovers was on the bottom of the deck, and then on the top of the deck, we have the 3 of Pentacles again. So it's like the exact same thing that we already have going on. These are the exact same 2 cards. It's the 3 of Pentacles and the Lovers. So I do feel that if there are enough people, like, if you were concerned about not finding romance and you feel like you're a good person, I would definitely join the side of truth, okay? Because it's a mix and mingle, and these are some hotties. I'm gonna be serious. If I was a royal matchmaker, I'd say you need to get your ass in shape. And by that, I mean tell the truth. I know people can get married in prison, okay? You don't want to miss out. I'm serious. I'm really serious. We have everything from, like, nostalgic childhood love that wants to be rekindled, from marriages that were sweet childhood sweethearts that have fallen apart, that want to fix on, that I'm thinking of the movie for these ones. They're thinking of, is it called The Story of Us? I don't know. It's Michelle Pfeiffer and Kevin Costner. Is the movie? It's a really good movie, especially if you have been with your partner for a long time and you're unsure, if you want to stay together or not, if it's worth staying together. I don't know. That's like a movie, whoever this is, and they can have children or not have children, but this is a couple that have been together for a long time. But what their relationship is so sweet. So this is a couple that will be rekindling their relationship. And there's also couples that, never got the chance to have a relationship, and they're going to try. So there's that. And then we have new relationships that are happening and it's like, that's the total honest. You're like, I never expected this. And it's like that because now people are coming together to save each other, and not in a religious creep way where you're killing me on the cross, in a way where it's like, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, I can't believe this. And when you're, especially people who are doing research, like, it's not even about them. So, like, they don't have time to be jealous of, each other or whoever their exes were or anything like that, because they're working on a common goal for something else. And the common goal that they're working on is truly for the greater good. So when you're focused on something like that, you honestly forget about your insecurities. You really do, because like that, it becomes your passion, especially when it is divine. And I truly mean that, when you want to make people feel better because they feel better, because they decided, because you gave them what they need, and all of a sudden they feel great. So it's like they're trying to fix something that could truly save people in whatever way that is. So there's a lot of relationships that are being formed through this specific thing as it branches out from small groups into more collective groups, is how I see that happening after you see this read, or today during this time. And again, the day today is Tuesday, February 10, 2026. So good luck to all of you lovers out there, and do the right thing. Okay, bye.